Hello children. Today we start with the exercise 1.2. I hope you have revised all the theorems before we begin with this exercise. So when we begin, you should be clear with the theorems that we have done before, that is VPT, converse, angle bisector theorem and theorem of parallel lines and the transverse. Okay. So we start with the first question here. Given below are some triangles and lengths of line segments. Identify in which figures ray PM is the bisector of angle QPR. Now, you remember the angle bisector property. If PM has to be the bisector of angle QPR, what does the theorem say? What is the equation that you must have? You must get QP upon PR is equal to QM upon MR. So when we do this, if the ratio comes equal, that means PM is a bisector. Otherwise, it is not. So let's see how to do it. So the first question, the figure is there, PQR, PM is the angle bisector. We have to see whether it is an angle bisector or not. So according to this property, angle bisector property, it is PQ upon PR is equal to QM upon MR. Let's substitute the values. 7 upon 3 is equal to 3.5 upon 1.5. Both the decimal places get removed. So you have 7 upon 3 is equal to 5 sevens are 35, 5 threes are 15. So that's 7 upon 3 again. Since both LHS and RHS are equal, it means PM is a bisector of angle QPR. This is how we have to do it. So that's the first question. Second, you have another triangle. PQR again, PM is you have to check whether PM is a bisector, same property. PQ upon PR is equal to QM upon MR. Substituting the values, 10 upon 7 is equal to 8 upon 6. 8 upon 6, when you reduce with 2, you get 4 upon 3. You get 10 upon 7 not equal to 4 upon 3. So what do you infer from that? Ray PM is not the bisector of angle QPR. Okay. Now similarly, we have another question, the third question. I haven't done the third. You are going to try out on your own, just like how we have done the first and the second. Okay. We go to question number 2. In triangle PQR, PM is equal to 15. Look at PM. PM is equal to 15. PQ is equal to 25. Now you are given PQ 25, PM is 15. What can you find out from that? We can find how much is MQ. How do I find MQ? You will subtract PM from PQ. So that means PQ minus PM should give you MQ. That is 25 minus 15. The answer will be 10. So MQ will be 10. Okay. Now similarly on the other side, you are given PR is 20, NR is 8. So how much will be PN? PR minus RN. That's 20 minus 8, which will be 12. Now basically, what is a question that is there? State whether line NM is parallel to the side RQ. Give reasons. Now you have learned if NM has to be parallel to the side RQ. What have we learned? What is a theorem? The theorem is BPT. That is a converse, isn't it? So if PN upon NR is equal to PM upon MQ, then we know that NM is parallel to RQ. It's not the converse, it's basically BPT itself. So if this ratio is equal, then it follows that NM is parallel to side RQ. So let's see how to do this. Second question. So see, I have written the values PR minus NR. So that's 20 minus 8, which is 12. So I've written PN as 12. Similarly, PQ was given to you 25. So 25 minus 15, which is PM's value, and so MQ is 10. Okay. So I've written the values at those places. PN is 12, NR is 8, PM is 15, MQ is 10. Once this is done, state whether the line NM is parallel to side RQ. That is your question. So what you must write, if Pn upon Nr is equal to Pm upon Nq according to basic proportionality theorem. So if it is equal, so let's check whether it's equal. 12 upon 8 equal to 15 upon 10. When you cancel, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12. You get 3 upon 2. Similarly on the right hand side with 5, 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. So 3 upon 2. Since both LHS and RHS are equal, we infer that line NM is parallel to side RQ. Children, I hope it's clear. We go to the third question. Question number 3. In triangle MNP, NQ is a bisector of angle N. If MN is equal to 5, PN is equal to 7, NQ is equal to 2.5, find NQ. I think by now you are very clear. You have to use angle bisector property and get your answer. Question number 3. So, according to angle bisector property, Mn upon Np is equal to Mq upon Qp. Substitute the values. 5 upon 7 is equal to 2.5 upon Qp, which implies you have to cross multiply. 5 into Qp equal to 2.5 into 7. Therefore, Qp is equal to 2.5 into 7 upon 5. That's 0.5 into 7. Your value answer is 3.5. Okay. So that's question number 3. Let's go to the next question. Number 4. Now, measures of some angles in the figure are given. You have to prove AP upon PB equal to AQ upon QC. When you look at figure triangle ABC, you are given angle APQ is 60 degrees, angle ABC is 60 degrees. Now, when you look at this figure, what are you able to understand? When you have two angles like this, which are equal, what do you infer from that? Don't they look like corresponding angles? Yes. And if corresponding angles are congruent, what do we infer? We know that PQ is parallel to BC. Now children, if you are given in a triangle ABC, you are given a line PQ which is parallel to BC, what do we infer from that? It is the converse of BPT. So if you have PQ parallel to BC, it follows that AP upon PB equal to AQ upon QC. It is a converse of BPT. So how to do it? Question number 4. So I've written like this. Angle APQ is equal to 60 degrees. Angle B, that is angle ABC, equal to 60 degrees. They form a pair of corresponding angles. Therefore, PQ parallel to BC. So according to BPT, if PQ is parallel to BC, it follows AP upon PB equal to AQ upon QC. Okay. Next. Question number 5. In trapezium ABCD, you have side AB parallel to side PQ, which is also parallel to side DC. AP is 15, PD is 12, QC is 14, find BQ. Now, which theorem do you think we have to use here? You have three parallel lines, AB, PQ, and DC. So, obviously, the property that you will be using is property of three parallel lines and their transversal. Okay. So, question number 5. Yes. So when you apply property of three parallel lines and the transversal, AP upon PD is equal to BQ upon QC. So just you have to substitute the values. 15 upon 12 is equal to BQ upon 14 or X upon 14. Cross multiply. 15 into 14 equal to BQ into 12. Therefore, BQ is 15 into 14 upon 12. I think you can solve it. And your answer comes 35 upon 2 and your answer is 17.5. Okay. Since they have not mentioned any units over there, you can leave it as it is. Let's go to the next question, number 6. Find QP using the given information in the figure. So exactly, once again, it's an angle bisector. See, NQ is angle bisector. You're able to understand from the figure. So you have to use angle bisector property. So Mn upon Np equal to Mq upon Qp, All three values are given and you have to substitute and get question number 6. So that's 25 upon 40 is equal to 14 upon QP. This gets reduced by 5. 5 5s are 25, 5 8s are 40. That is equal to 14 upon QP. Cross multiply. 5 into QP equal to 14 into 8. Therefore, QP is 14 into 8 upon 5, which is 112 by 5. Your answer is 22.4 units. All right. Now, question number 7 says, you have, let's go to the question from the textbook. That's number 7. You have a figure 1.41. You are given AB parallel to CD parallel to FE. You have to find X. You have to find AE. X is nothing but CE. And then when you find AE, you will just add AC plus CE. That will give you AE. Okay. Now, since you have three parallel lines like this, AB parallel to CD parallel to EF, it clearly follows which property must we use? Property of three parallel lines and their transversal. So your transversals are BF and AE and the parallel lines are AB, CD and EF. How do I find out? 12 upon X equal to 8 upon 4. AC upon CE is equal to BD upon DF. So it's very simple. Let's see how to do that. Question number 7. AB parallel to CD parallel to EF. So according to property of parallel lines, BD upon DF is equal to AC upon CE. So 8 upon 4 equal to 12 upon X. 8 into X is equal to 12 into 4. X is equal to 12 into 4 upon 8. So 4 2s are 8, 2 6 are 12. So you get the value of CE as 6. Once you get CE as 6, the second part of your question says find AE. So that's AC plus CE. 12 plus 6, answer is 18. Final answer, write both the values CE or X, that is 6, and AE is equal to 18. It should be 18, children. I've written it as 8. It should be 18. Okay, your final answer. Okay, so that's question number 7. Next, we go to question number 8. This I haven't done it. You will do it by yourself. Again, it's angle bisector property. Very simple. All values are there. You have to find what is LT. So when you look at the figure, you understand LM upon MN equal to LT upon TN. You have all three values. Find the fourth. Okay. Question number 9 also is exactly the same. It's using angle bisector property. There's a slight difference. It's just that instead of values, you're given in terms of X. In triangle ABC, segment BD bisects angle ABC. If AB equal to X, BC equal to X plus 5, AD equal to X minus 2, and DC equal to X plus 2, find the value of X. Now, since BD is the angle bisector, according to the angle bisector property, we know AB upon BC equal to AD upon DC. Substituting the values, you have X upon X plus 5 equal to X minus 2 upon X plus 2. So let's see how to do this. Question number 9, I have directly written those values. You know how to use angle bisector property. So X upon X plus 5 is equal to X minus 2 upon X plus 2. Cross multiply it. X into X plus 2 equal to X plus 5 into X minus 2. Now, whenever you have a binomial, as in this case, X plus 5, X minus 2 or X plus 2, remember to put them inside the brackets. Okay. Now, when I multiply X into X plus 2, what do I get? X into X, X square plus X into 2 is 2X. On the right hand side, X into X, X square. X into minus 2, minus 2X. Plus 5 into X, 5X. 5 into minus 2, minus 10. You have X square on both the sides which get cancelled. Bring all the X to one side, the constant on the other side. Now 2X is equal to, what is minus 2X plus 5X? It's 3X, right? You subtract and put the sign of the bigger number. So 5 minus 2 is 3. The sign of the bigger number is plus 5 and therefore your answer will have 3X. So 3X minus 10. Now you are bringing 3X to the left hand side. So 2X minus 3X is equal to minus 10. 2 minus 3, answer is minus 1X. That's equal to minus 10. You have minus on both sides which get cancelled and therefore your answer is X is equal to 10. Children, I hope you have understood how to do it. Next, we go to question number 10. This is an activity-based sum. I'll explain to you how to do it. You will fill up the boxes as we are discussing this. Okay. In the figure 1.44, x is any point in the interior of a triangle. Point X is joined to the vertices of the triangle. Segment PQ is parallel to segment DE. Segment QR is parallel to segment EF. Fill in the blanks to prove segment PR parallel to segment DF. Children, I hope the figure is clear. You have triangle DEF. There's another small triangle PQR inside. There's a central point which is X. Now what you are given is PQ is parallel to DE. You're also given QR is parallel to EF. Okay. Now, let's go to the proof in triangle XDE. Look at the triangle carefully. XDE. Have you located the triangle? Yes. Now, in this triangle XDE, you are given PQ parallel to DE. What must you write in the first box? What is PQ parallel to DE? It is given, right? So, in the first box there to the right, you will write given. Okay, next step. Therefore, xp upon dash. What should be the answer? Xp upon PD. Correct. Xp upon PD is equal to what should come in the next box? Upon QE. So that should be XQ. XQ upon QE. Reason, basic proportionality theorem. That's equation number 1. So what's the first equation? XP upon PD equal to XQ upon QE. Okay. Yes. Let's go to the next step. In triangle XEF, look at the figure, look at the triangle XEF. You are given QR is parallel to EF. Okay. Again, there's a box. What must you write there? Given. Okay. Now, since QR is parallel to EF, I'm sure you will be able to frame the next set of equation. What should it be? XQ upon QE is equal to XR upon RF. So those will come in those 4 boxes there. XQ upon QE is equal to XR upon RF. Reason according to BPT. Okay. Now that's your equation number 2. Now, the next set of boxes, your reason is given from 1 and 2. Now, children, when you have written both these equations, you will find that there is something common between the first and the second equation. Can you tell me what it is? XP upon PD equal to XQ upon QE. In the second, XQ upon QE is equal to XR upon RF. You will find XQ upon QE coming common in both equations 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2, what do I infer? So the third set of boxes, you are going to write XP upon PD equal to XR upon RF. I'll repeat, XP upon PD is equal to XR upon RF. So this is going to come in the next set of boxes from 1 and 2. And therefore, what do I infer? PR is parallel to DF. It should be DF. It's printed as DE in your textbook. It should be DF. So that's the converse of basic proportionality theorem. And that's it. We finish with that sum. Children, I hope it's clear. Okay. Go through it once again. The ones who are not following it means you haven't learned, you haven't revised BPT, converse, you haven't done the theory part. So go behind, revise all the theorems once again and then come and do the exercises. That will be very clear. Okay. Question number 11. This is the last question in the exercise. In triangle ABC, so you will draw a figure, triangle ABC. Ray BD bisects angle ABC. Ray CE bisects angle ACB. If segment AB is congruent to segment AC, prove that ED parallel to BC. It will be clear only when you draw the figure. So we draw the figure. Question number 11. See, I have drawn triangle ABC. They have told you that BD is the angle bisector of angle ABC. Similarly, CE is the angle bisector of angle ACB. Okay. So we have drawn the angle bisectors also. You are also given that segment AB is congruent to AC. What must we prove? We have to prove that ED is parallel to BC, right? Isn't that what we have to prove? Yeah, you have to prove ED parallel to BC. So what we'll do is we use angle bisector property. You are given BD is the angle bisector of angle ABC. So we write AB upon BC is equal to AD upon DC. Okay, that's your equation number 1, angle bisector property. Next, since CE is the angle bisector of ACB, angle ACB, you can write AC upon CB is equal to AE upon EB. Equation number 2, again due to angle bisector property. Now look at equations 1 and 2 and also use this property that's given. You have been given that AB is congruent to AC. All right. Now look at the left-hand sides of both equation 1 and 2. You have AB upon BC equal to AC upon CB. Now if you look at the denominators, both are the same. It's BC, CB. It means it's one and the same. Another thing, numerators, when you look, you're given AB and AC, and you've been given that AB is congruent to AC. Therefore, your left-hand sides are both equal to the right-hand side. So from 1 and 2, what do I get? I get that the right-hand sides should be equal to each other. So I'll write, see, AB upon BC equal to AC upon CB. Since AB is given congruent to AC, it follows that AD upon DC is equal to AE upon EB. And therefore, AD upon DC is equal to AE upon EB. So from there, what do I infer? I infer that ED is parallel to BC. So that's the converse of BPT. So if you're given that the sides are divided in the same proportion, then the line ED is parallel to the base BC. So that's converse of BPT. Children, I hope the last question is also clear. With this, we finish with the exercise 1.2. We have completed all the sums till 11. There are few sums which I haven't done because they are repetitive. So they are for you to solve. So that's it. We finish with exercise 1.2. So next we will start with the next theory part. Okay. Thank you, children.